What's up? What it do? Cyber world, it is your girl, the one and only Ash Said It. AshSaidIt.com. AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. We appreciate you guys for your love and support. Yes, nearly 500,000 streams worldwide and growing would not be possible without each and every one of you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do. Today, we are talking with the beautiful Annette Swan. Hey, Annette.
Good morning from Australia. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Just getting up and ready for work. You know what it's like.
Yeah. Oh, daily. It's a daily hustle. It is a daily hustle. So, Annette, let the audience know where are you from? Where do you represent?
I'm from Mackay, which is in the tropical North Queensland in Australia. But I originally grew up in Melbourne, which is further down south in Victoria.
Yeah. What's the weather like this time of year?
Oh, in Mackay, it's actually around the 30s. We've just had about 3 days of rain on and off, but normally it's beautiful.
Okay, cool. So, how did bullying affect your life?
Well, I was burnt at the age of 9, and I had 30% third-degree burns to my upper body and face. So only 2 weeks after I got out of hospital, I was put back in school. And as you could imagine, it was very traumatic because kids at that age have no filter. So they were quite shocked with my appearance. I had bandages and I had a plaster collar on my neck. I had a felt chin strap around my chin that was done up at the top of my head and the back of the head by Velcro. So I looked pretty scary, to say the least. But I basically had to deal with the stares and the taunts, and one of the taunts was burnt face, which I really hated. And so, you know, I've now written my book, Burnt Face, and owned that taunt. And I guess the only way I dealt with bullying was to ignore it. And I actually became not so much a bully, but I guess I didn't cower. So the people who were bullying and trying to upset me, I guess I realised at a very young age that it was their own insecurities and them being scared of my looks. So, yeah.
Now, the person that attacked you, were they ever reprimanded?
It wasn't an attack. I know it was an accident, but he never admitted doing it. So he never took responsibility, and basically it was like a hit and run. I was fine 1 minute. I was at my mother's work Christmas party. It was at a park and there were barbecues everywhere, and the man that did it, he was the son-in-law of my mother's work friend. But yeah, he poured methylated spirits onto the barbecue. The flames exploded the bottle. He threw the bottle. I pushed my older brother out the way and I copped the brunt of the explosion. And no one admitted to seeing it, and he never contacted us after that day. So, yeah, there was no acknowledgement.
Wow. So what was that experience like for you growing up? Like, what were some of the things that you had to deal with?
Well, I mean, you know, obviously the pain and the psychological shock of never being the same again. It's kind of cathartic because I'm in the process of writing the second part of the book, and there's been some hidden traumas coming back to me, so it's kind of manifesting itself physically because I'm having, you know, stomach problems, and it all stems back to I never really grieved back then. I guess we just got on with life, and you know, I'm actually I've joined some burn survivor groups on Facebook since writing my book, and I'm so happy that there's now these outlets for other survivors to talk to each other, and it's good. It's therapeutic, where I didn't have that 43 years ago. So I'm kind of dealing with what I didn't deal with back then at the moment.
And I would imagine that, it's not something that is, I won't say that it's necessarily a common thing to happen for people to deal with bullying and things of that nature. But a lot of people, I would say, would hide. A lot of people would pretend that it didn't happen. A lot of people would try to mask over it and just act like it wasn't something that did not go on. How did you find the courage to share your story?
I guess it really, I never really thought I had a story to tell. Like, I've just always got on with life, and, I grew up with a loving family, and I've got a lot of good friends. The area that I actually grew up in, Melbourne, it was quite notorious back in the 70s and 80s. There was lots of gangs and, violence and stuff, but it was a very close-knit community being part of that. And I still have a lot of contacts with very dear friends that I grew up with. But I guess at first, of course, I looked very different. I felt very different, but I had to be as normal as I could. And so I didn't think that there was much to tell. And when I moved to Queensland as an adult, a friend and I would be walking, for exercise, and I'd tell her the stories and things that happened back then, and she said, you've got a real story to tell. You should write a book. So, after years of thinking about it, I thought, why not? My family, like my children, have never really, I've never told them a lot about it. Like, we talk about it, but I thought this would be good for my kids and their kids and, the future generations to know my story. And if people out there are interested in it, well, that's a bonus. And then I realised while I'm writing it that there's a lot of families who've probably gone through the same, and it's the carers that give us the strength to be confident and, be a normal part of society. So I really hope that I can inspire, other survivors, but especially their carers and their families who go through the trauma as well.
Yeah.
It's so important for them to have some outlet as well, because their strength is what gets us through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, you guys, so we're going to take a brief break. When we come back, we're going to talk more with Annette Swan, and we're going to have all the information as far as where you guys can get this book and where Annette may be next. Who knows? All right, you guys hang tight for me. We'll be right back. Did you know that some foods can cause weight gain, body aches, and extreme fatigue? These are just some of the symptoms of food intolerance. Well, what is food intolerance? Food intolerance can occur when the body cannot properly digest certain foods. This can result in acid reflux, migraines, and so many other painful issues. How do you find out what foods are causing this irritation? It's easy. Pinner Test. With 500,000 satisfied clients worldwide, Pinner Test is the #1 way of identifying foods that may be causing discomfort. This simple at-home kit is easy to use with results usually within 2 weeks via email. It's that simple, all right? What are you waiting for? Go visit pinnertest.com and use my special promo code AshSaidIt for your discount today. What's up, you guys? It's your girl, AshSaidIt.com. We're chatting now with author Annette Swan. Annette, what is the message that you want people to get from your book?
I guess the message is basically that we, it's okay to be different. Sometimes being different makes you a beautiful individual. Like, we all don't want to be the same as everybody else, and I wanted to encourage especially those who have scars to know that things do get better. Like, there are a lot of adults who've been burnt, but they've lived their childhood. They've already carved their pathway to a future, and as a child, when you get burnt, you haven't even become that person. So I guess the message for children who've been burnt is it does get better, and it does take time, but the scars heal, and you can be confident and be happy and have a family, and really as a child you don't think that'll happen when you've suffered something like this, but it really does get better. So I guess the message is, no matter what, just hang in there, because it really does get better.
Absolutely. Annette, thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing a little bit of your world. And you sharing your story is, of course, helping other people that are dealing with it worldwide. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea who listens to these shows. I don't know where they are. I don't know what they're going through. But I know that there's at least one person that needed to hear those words from you. So we appreciate you for sharing that with us today.
That's fine. And can I just add, I've recently become the ambassador for the Campio Burns group.
Oh, congratulations.
They're an amazing group. They are trying to raise awareness for, they're based in South Africa, and there's a lot of acid attacks over there, and even human trafficking. So, getting the word out. And if you go onto Facebook and look up the Campio Burns group, which is CAMPIO, it's another word for champions. And I'm looking forward to where that goes. So there's exciting things coming up, and obviously my book Burnt Face is available on Amazon. But there's also a lot more information on my website, which is Annette Swan with a double N.com.
Sounds like a plan. We appreciate you so much, Annette. Much more success to you, 2018 and beyond. We'll be cheering you on from the sidelines as you go and you take the crown, take that title.
I will.
So, absolutely. And thank you guys for supporting the movement, which is ashsaidit.com. Keep in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face and tell them, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for. We're doing this for the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.